the area of mind coaching or mindset coach. So really look forward to tapping in to your I guess expertise and really helping the listeners along with the way they can, I guess, better manage their mind or better control their mind or better lead and guide or be the leader of their mind. So with before we get into the episode, I'd love you to bring the listeners up to speed as to how you've arrived at what you're doing today.
Yep, yeah, easy. So, I mean, I think my story is like my strongest point, and that's what like we have our story for a reason. So, 5 years ago, I found myself just lost. I was anxious, depressed, and like thinking about taking my own life. To be honest, like that's how dark I got. That's how bad it got in my mind. And at that time, I heard about John D. Center, one of our biggest mentors, and that was the impetus for me. I was like, okay, this weekend either I learn what I need to understand my mind and fix things, or game over. And so I went there, did the breakthrough program, and everything just made sense from there. Understood my mind, understood why emotions happened, and from that point on, I just went on a 9-month journey to fix my own mind. And then once I got my life back on track and started trying, I was like, cool, these tools help everyone around me. And so I started trying to share that instead of getting involved in the self-help trend. It was actually self-actualization trend and trying to start that. And that's brought me up to today.
Yeah, incredible. In terms of it was literally a breakthrough for you, right?
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, not wrong at all. I mean, what an experience, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what was the big realization for you? Like, what was the light bulb moment in whether it be the weekend or was it the 9 months afterwards when you really started working on yourself? Was there a particular moment that really shifted you?
It's actually like one lesson that everything boils down to, and it's that everything happens for a reason. As soon as I learned that, I realized that anxiety or depression wasn't just some random imbalance in my brain. All of a sudden, it was something that was happening for a reason. And if it's happening for a reason, we can stop it, was my whole thing. And that was just I have to do lens now, change everything. And like, that's at the core of everything I teach and my whole philosophy on life now.
Yeah, amazing. So, eh, did it come down to a single reason, or it's multifaceted? There's so many reasons. Like, is there a particular reason that you think that was primarily why I was so depressed?
I'm pretty aware of multiple. So before that, I've been involved in the crypto bull run, made a lot of money, and then lost it all. And I was so infatuated with that money that I had made that I was just comparing my life to that and thinking, oh, if I had that money, I'll be happy. And so what am I doing? I'm just forfeiting my happiness for money. So that was one of the loops. Another was a girlfriend. I'd broken up with a girlfriend and I created this story in my head. I need a relationship to be happy. Again, I'm just piling onto myself here. And then the third was when anxiety had started, um, because of my way of thinking. It scared me and confronted me. And I was so attached to not being anxious that I was trying so hard to be happy. And I was just making myself sad again and again and again. Those three things were sort of the things that caused me to spiral.
Yeah, wow. And you would certainly, if you look at society, that what you're experiencing isn't uncommon. Like, people do have this fixation on money that, money will fix all my problems.
Yeah.
Or if it's not money, it's if I get the right relationship, the right person in my life, they will fix all my problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a culture. I mean, it's a culture built on hedonism, and it's the solutions are all out there. And I always talk about it. It's like people looking for happiness is like a person roaming around the house with glasses and shows what's on their head already. Like that's how we operate. It's crazy.
And obviously, you're helping these clients today, right? So that these, that there's people coming to see you that you've solved this problem yourself. You know how to solve it. Hence, people are finding you to help them, guide them through their concerns around whether it be money or relationships, and just anxiety is another one that's very prevalent, particularly
Yeah.
amongst the younger generation. Just or there's so many factors as to why that's the case. Is there a particular avatar that is seeing you at the moment, and what are they coming to see you for?
I've sort of got two. So I've got one is people that want to grow themselves, like they're doing well in business, like they're doing well in life, but they know they're capable of more, and so they want to just level up their mindset, level up their belief, level up their worth, and strategically build. And then the other avatar that's starting to come through is people that are struggling with anxiety or ADHD and those sorts of things. And they're coming to me because they've tried conventional routes, they've not made as much progress as they would have loved. And what I offer them is more autonomy. I help them to, this is just a challenge that we can solve. It's just, let's start training your mind like we would your body, and let's get you back on the path and see if we can start making a big difference. See if what worked for me and my earlier clients can help you as well. So I treat people as individuals instead of the band-aid solution for everyone's problem.
And so the one that's coming to you in relation to wanting to improve themselves, like this self-actualization, like, the journey that you went on,
Mm-hmm.
increasing that self-belief, self-worth, and where do you start with this particular person? Because it's quite, particularly for young people. I mean, I certainly realized that, I had fairly low self-esteem, low self-worth, um, and I wasn't worthy and
Yeah.
of love and all that sort of stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, where do you start with this person that's coming to you? Just say it's, it's me. It's a younger version of me.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you're young enough.
yeah.
Uh, anyone that comes through, like the most important thing is like, let's get clear on your values. Let's get clear on your unique fingerprint and what makes you you. Because until we know that, how are we going to set goals for your life? Like, how are we going to want to achieve and what's going to be fulfilling? So that sits at the core of everything. Like, let's get crystal clear on your values. Then we can remove everyone else's projection of, oh, you should be a doctor. You should be doing this. This is how you should. Because I want you to find your version. It's not what society's telling you it has to look like. So we get clear on the values, and then we start mapping out how you want your life to look. And that's when things might start popping up. It's fears or self doubts or don't love yourself enough to be able to put yourself forward or feel worthy and all those sorts of things. So that's when we can start working strategically, and whatever comes up is what we address at the time. And we just build, and it's just piece by piece by piece. You're building yourself, building your self worth, being crystal clear on what you want to do, and then you get to build towards that future.
Yeah, that values piece is something that I got lost in. I was very much
Mhm.
focused on societal values, like it. So I attended an Anthony Robbins weekend, and
Okay. Yep.
set your vision and all this, and so my vision was to build a business listed on the stock exchange and create all this wealth, right?
Mhm.
And the interesting thing is that after that weekend, I really did nothing about it. Like I,
Why
I
would you? Yep.
yeah, you get what I mean. Like because it was never me, but I realized that in time that I'm not driven by money, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, so it was like I've more about making a difference and helping others and making an impact through helping others but this whole thing of building a business and listing it and all this was just it was just this fantasy.
Yeah, it's make money because you need more money to be good at life or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah,
It's crazy, and then like that's again where everyone runs into their problems. Like if you're not chasing what you want, of course you're going to procrastinate. Of course you're going to burn out. Of course you're not going to follow through. And then you just beat yourself up because you tried to achieve someone else's goal. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's just the wires are crossed a bit.
So, this is an interesting one around values because having spent some time in corporate, they'll talk about values, right? But the values that they would talk about is honesty and integrity and all this sort of stuff, and uh, but that doesn't help really shift the needle in terms of drive me to be the best version of I mean it does aid and support it, but it really doesn't. It's sort of like, well, don't we all want that, right? So in terms of helping someone really find their uniqueness and
Mhm.
connect with those values, what are some of the questions you ask, or how do you elicit that out of the person?
Yeah, so I take him through. It's sort of a hybrid between Dr. John Demartini's value determination process, and then I've created a bit of a variation in my own version as well. But basically, it's just moving away from these ideals of, oh, my values are happiness, my values are joy, peace, like they're character traits. They're fantastic to have and great. But I want to know what makes you tick. Like, I want to know what you love to talk about. I want to know where you're happy to spend your money. Like, what your goals are. Like, the things that you're constantly thinking about. So the things about your values is your values are what you're going to just show up and do spontaneously. Never be motivated. It's what your time, energy, money on, all those sorts of things. And so taking you through these processes, we can get crystal clear on what your life demonstrates, as opposed to what you think it should be or society is telling you or any of that sort of stuff. So that's the DeMartini way. Another one I do is, look, we're one of billions of people on this planet currently. There's been billions of people that have lived before, billions of characters. Everyone will have their favorite 10 people that existed. They're in society that have done things that inspire you most or whatnot. And I think there's a very, very important link between the people you most look up to and you, because they're reflecting the greatest versions of yourself. So I've also created a process where you can find who those people are. You plug them into the AI, which I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point. And then you get to figure out the big why behind what it is about those people and what it means to you as well.
Wow, that's yeah. Because if I look at all the people that I've looked up to and aspired, that there's certainly over time I've started to own those traits, because the reason why I recognize and look up to it is because they're in me, but I'm just
Yep.
not yeah.
That's it. And then you give yourself the power to think at that level, and then your impact just grows, doesn't it?
And who are yours? Like, because obviously you've been through this process. Yeah.
I mean, I've got Plato, Socrates. There's another philosopher, Diogenes, from ancient Greek. Well, all of those philosophers, just in a crystal clear way of thinking and what they're able to achieve. I really enjoyed character like Tommy Shelby, Ted Lasso. Years ago, before it was now, it was Elon, back when he first started, like the vision with getting to Mars, like trying to solve the space problem, all that sort of stuff. They're the main ones that jump out. When I was younger, I read some very historical fiction books on Genghis Khan and Julius Caesar, and for me at the time, they were very formative books. And so for what I learned from those and like how they're depicted in this book as opposed to who they really were in history, quite pivotal for me as well. But yeah, it's just grabbing from all different walks, and it's like there's a reason why my favorite shows are what they are. Something in that speaks to my core, my identity, all those things. So yeah.
What are your favorite shows?
Ted Lasso, absolutely.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders was up there as well. I really love Welcome to Wrexham, just for, I mean, how cool of an impact, like you see the significance of sports society and how through upgrading one part of the community, it can have all those ripple effects and change thousands, if not millions of lives. I think that's such an inspiring show about what we can do and how if we put love into something that can just pour out and affect others.
So so you help your clients find their values, and be really clear as to what they are. And then you said you help guide them towards a vision. How do you help someone, take them from, I guess, having those foundational values, realizing who they are, what's important to them, to then having an aspirational vision of where they want to go?
Yes. So once we've got the values, then I'll start asking and just really honing in with them through questions and conversation of what it is they would love to do. And sometimes it pops up straight away. Sometimes we have to do digging, and because there's layers of ego and protections and all those sorts of things. So there's no one way. I don't ask this one question and get the answer every time. It's very intuition guided through the conversation of, if you say something and it sounds like, okay, that feels like it's shame driven, then it's like, okay, why do you not feel like you're worthy of having a global vision? Why do you not think? And then we take care of all those until eventually you get to the point, that you're worthy of having a global vision and wanting to achieve something with your life. Like, you're worthy of love and sharing that love with the world. And so it's just navigating the conversation until someone realizes that they're qualified, capable, worthy, and then the vision just sort of emerges for them.
Nice. It's
Mhm.
it's really something that people are looking for, isn't it? Like really, like they're questioning, why am I here? What's my
Yeah,
purpose? Purpose of here on planet Earth, and having someone to help them realize that or find that is so important, because otherwise what happens is you get lost, like you were. You're tied up with this whole thing around money and your self-worth tied to money, and if you didn't, because you've lost the money, you're useless, you're hopeless,
that's it.
and if I had that money, things would be so much better, like it's
That's it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing what we can do with our mind and what we can think. But yeah, like it's just about bringing people back to themselves. Once you're so strong and confident in yourself, then it doesn't matter what's going on out there, because like you've got this. You're good, and then you keep building.
Yeah, and when you wake up with that, that purpose sort of driven, you look forward to every day. Like you think, like I'm really, I'm making an impact. I'm making a difference. It's exciting to get out of bed when you're,
That's it.
yeah, really transform it. Whether you're in the process of transforming yourself, or in the process of helping transform others, or transform, build a something bigger than you, then it's just really, it's like this magnetism, it's this pull, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's like, yeah, the world becomes better one person at a time. Like the rising tide raises all boats. And like I've been sad, it's not that much fun. And now I've been happy, and I get to love life, and I get to share that. And it's like, why wouldn't I do this? And why not help others to love life as well? Because we've all got that same spark in us if we can just find it. And it's exciting, and it's exciting that the world's waking up to this now as well, more and more, and opportunities are emerging more and more for it too.
And the other thing that you help your clients through is their overall well-being, their wellness quotient, so to speak,
Mhm.
and you very much do this through your focus around mindset work. So, how does your mindset work tie into someone's health and well-being?
So, I mean, I preach, as Aristotle did, everything in moderation. So I sort of try and give them healthy relationships with everything. I've taken a lot of my philosophical principles for looking at mindset and applied it to diet, to movement, all those sort of things as well. And whilst I'm not qualified in any of those areas, I think I've got a good diet. I think I've got good, healthy like movement behaviors. And I just pass that on to people. I just encourage people to live the life they want to live. Because once you, again, connected with your values, once you're living out of love, that's going to be better. You're going to be healthier. You're going to be more well anyway, as opposed to taking supplements but being miserable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of them feeding one, it's like this vicious cycle, right? So
That's it.
you're miserable thinking the supplements will fix you, and the supplements are,
Yeah. And then you can't afford the supplements,
yeah.
so you can't afford the thing to make you happy. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
A vicious
It's
cycle.
tough out there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so really keen to explore this philosophy around, you take this more moderate approach, and, just defining that. And also, you mentioned, you've got a certain philosophy around eating and movement. If you could, share that with the listeners, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I believe like I look for everything in like a natural way. So my diet is probably closer to paleo than anything else, because I mean I don't believe in a particular religion, but I think God made food perfect for how we can consume it. Like I try to eat roasted animal, like beef and whatnot, because that seems to be most natural for me, the most natural form, and I try to eat that and like honor the food and all that. I don't do any extreme fads with the diets. Like I don't put sauces on my foods because I don't know the ingredients. I just cook with fresh ingredients, and I just have that love for food, and I feel the energy through it. So like we live in a world of like self-help where everything has to be tracked. You have to eat the same amount of calories at the same time, be in bed at the same time. And I just think it's a bit too extreme. Like humans, we're robust. Like we can, like I think routine's meant to be spread out over a week instead of every single day, if that makes sense. And that's more my philosophy. It's like less pressure on yourself, less trying to be a robot, more being fluid and flexible. If you've eaten a lot more the last couple of days, cool, do a little fast today to balance it out. You know what I mean? Instead of every day looking the same and a lot of pressure on oneself.
Absolutely, that sort of more fluid approach to life, right? There's more flow in what you're sharing as opposed to this rigidity. You know, it's like
That's it.
yeah.
Like if waking up at 6:30 works for you, cool. If it doesn't, okay. Like you don't have to do that. Like that's not a rule that someone wrote down. Like, yeah, I wake up at 6:30. That's crazy. So it's just teaching people to throw out everything the society is saying and find what works for them. And like at the end of the day, wellness isn't about performance. Wellness isn't about what anyone else thinks of you. It's about how you feel with yourself. It's your vitality. It's your life. So I think it's just trying to help people break away from the performed wellness and this fad of trying to be super, super fit, thinking that's well, because there's a difference between fitness and health. And I'm trying to remind people of that.
Yeah, and it's very much like that longevity trend, like, you know, people getting, you know, wanting a longer life, but they get so rigid that it's quite miserable living that sort of way. So why do you want to, you know, like I'm just seeing, like, it's just,
like, are you a masochist?
Yeah. Like, just to extend your misery.
Are you happy? No, but I want to live for 100 years of unhappiness. Why?
Yeah.
It's strange, but yeah, like people are so caught up in their health and trying to better themselves that they forget to live, and like that's not it. Like I don't want to have a bedtime and be like, oh, I can't keep having fun because it's 9:30. If I get 7 hours of sleep, I get 7 hours of sleep. I can have it out tomorrow. That's a life to be lived, I think. And it's just teaching and reminding people that there's options and flexibility.
Yeah, and then like there's this, obviously the supplement industry is huge and it's just growing, and but people thinking that health's in a supplement, like it just doesn't, like where does that come from? Like it's like, you know, the more supplements I take, the healthier I am. Like
baffling. Like I have just started taking a supplement again for the first time in years, but it's magnesium. And the only reason I'm taking it, and this is your domain, like you're definitely the expert on this, but what one of my friends said was often we get magnesium through our vegetables and magnesium stored in the soil, but because of crop rotation, all that, it's a lot less prevalent in the food, and so we're probably short on magnesium. And that's why I've started taking it, but that's literally it. Other than that, I don't do protein, none of that, because why? Eat good diet.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the magnesium. And yeah, absolutely. You know, the soils are overfarmed or overutilized, and in that they don't contain the minerals once had, and they're not being replenished at the rate we're taking away. You get what I mean? Like, so there's they're quite stripped of their minerals, and so it's but so got this very modest. What about the move? So we've covered the diet side. The diet side is very, you know, it's clean and natural, and more paleo like, and yeah, you know, in terms of closer to the source of, you know, where the food comes from. In terms of the movement side of things.
Yeah, so I've had a bit of a journey. Like I've done everything. So I started with gym, did hardcore gym for a few years, then moved into more calisthenics movement, did yoga for a couple of years, and then recent block was Ironman training. And out of all of those, the one that I've done best on was yoga. Like the consistent, like the yoga, increasing the flexibility of the body, like you just feel better in your body. And so I just go for, I don't understand this whole logic of, okay, yeah, I'll drive to the gym, I'll work out for an hour, and then I'll live sedentary the rest of my life. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So I walk everywhere. I sit on the floor. I sit on furniture. I stretch in my everyday life. Like I don't think I have to do all my 1 hour block 3 days a week and then nothing the rest of the time. So it's just a very balanced build. I swear by yoga. I think it's fantastic for the body, for the mind. It strengthens everything. And this is getting very esoteric or metaphysical, I don't know, but I do think there's a link between like having more flexibility and mobility in your body and just more vitality for life, and like just the body feeling better. So I think that I'd rather that than in a gym where you just do a curl and only work out a tiny bit of the muscle. That's sort of my take on it.
And it's very aligned to your take on life. You know, it's fluid, right? It's not rigid. Like, so it's So it's this body that moves well and flows and moves through the environment in a fluid state and very adaptable state. And it's not that, I guess the rigid and can only be this way, and it's
That's it. And yeah, I feel like we've lost a lot of connection with our body as well. Like if I do bench press every day for like 3 years, like I'm not thinking about that movement. And so I'm not understanding what muscles are working and how to move my body or anything like that. And the yoga brought me back to that. It brought me back to like each little muscles and all that sort of thing. And then it just got me thinking, okay, am I walking properly? Like what's the biomechanics in my walking? How am I sitting? All these sorts of things. Am I got the range of motion? Why not? So I think it's just great for rebuilding that body-mind connection as well, which helps with diet, helps with life, helps with everything else too.
It's so true that more fluid approach to life, it keeps you more present, because you're not in that robotic way of, this at this, as you said, this time I do this, and and I eat this amount of quantity of food and this type of food, and it becomes very robotic and subconscious, as opposed to you stay very present and in the moment, through your lifestyle of being more fluid in all aspects of it.
100%. I've just done a 12-month block of Ironman training, and I didn't plan any of it. Like I didn't plan any weeks or any months, because how am I going to know on the 1st of January what my body's going to be on the 22nd?
Yeah.
Like if I schedule a 30K run, but I wake up that morning and I feel terrible and I force myself, I'm probably going to hurt myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not just see what the body's able to do that day and accept that you're going to have periods where you can't do it as part of the process and periods where you can do more, and just allow things to happen as they are and work with nature, work with the body.
Yeah, as opposed to, as you said, if you start forcing things, that's when injuries happen and accidents, and it's
I think so. Yeah. Like it just,
well,
again, it's like, it's the world that we live in though. Like everything has to be planned, structured, forced in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that results, performance, accolades, achievements, society, like it's, letters next to your name and titles. We've all been there. Well, certainly I've been on a journey through that myself. So
we all go.
It's been a fantastic conversation, Mike. I really appreciated, the way you do things and how you do them with your clients, and how you can help them. For those listeners out there thinking, oh, Mike's the person for me to really help me break through, what I'm going through, how can the listeners best connect with you?
The best way would actually be on my Instagram. So it's at mike.lea_. So MIKE.LEA_. On Instagram, you can message me. Like I'll happily respond to any message and connect and help people where I can. I've also got access to the AI that I've built. The AI is all of my philosophies, all the books that I've written, all programmed into this AI that's meant to serve as a coach. So it's like you're sitting down with me in AI form. So it's accessible 24/7. That's something I'm working to build and bring to more and more people and to make better time. You can do that. Otherwise, I work with people. I do a retainer model. So it's $1,000 for a month, and you get access to calls, to messages, to one-on-one sessions. And we just help you take your life from where you are to where you want to go. That's what I'm doing. And soon to be books as well. We're working on that at the minute, but they'll be coming shortly.
Awesome. Well, Mike, I'll include those links that you mentioned in the show notes so the listeners can go directly to the show notes and connect with you. I really appreciate your valuable time and sharing your insights and wisdoms with the Me and My Health Up listeners.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on board, and I've loved it.
Awesome, mate. We'll have to have you on again. So, we'll welcome you back.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
30 on the nose.